The violent battle did not gain Till's attention like it normally would. Before it started, the salvage mission of the Liberty was in full swing, so it wasn't suspicious for the planet to shake ever so often. Till even turned down the station's seismic sensors so no alarms went off by accident. Finishing a well-deserved break after signing the release of responsibility paperwork and giving a formal testimony, Till stepped outside the station. Syncing his AAD to the station so he would receive only the most threatening alarms, he took his usual stroll through the market towards the refugee center. I wonder if Kisa is back from dropping the survivors off. Let's go see, Till said to himself with childlike excitement. He had thought long and often about Nurse Kisa, who she was to the Galactic Alliance, how important she is to the town of Resupply. How important she is to me, Till thought. With the center in sight, Till was surprised to see Kisa arriving at the same time. Hey there, liaison, Kisa said after spotting Till. I just love a man in uniform. What are you up to? Unable to hide his joy, Till stuttered in response. I was actually on my way to see you, Nurse Kisa. Oh, and same to you. A smile grew across the nurse's face. Same what, silly? You like a man in uniform? No, I too like a woman in uniform, Till said with a surprising level of charm. Removing his nano helmet, Till, seemingly possessed by the spirit of romance, stepped in close to Kisa. Holding her gently around the waist, he stared into her yellow, speckled black and red eyes. They shared a moment as their third eyelids horizontally blinked to clear the dust. Before their romantic moment could reach its crescendo, a bluish-white light consumed all. Blinking and shielding himself until he could see again, Till immediately checked his AAD. His panic plateaued as he confirmed it was not the arrival of the shadow. Has anyone seen Arrow? Till shouted to the immediate area. He only left me a couple hours ago, so he must be somewhere outside of town. I'm not seeing anything on my wrist device. Kisa, head to the station. I'll take the transport from here and we can relay our findings when you arrive. Till punched a series of commands into his AAD as he and Kisa began making their way through town. I like it when you get serious, Kisa said, continuing to flirt. It wasn't long before the transport tracked the liaison in town, stopping just above him. Contact me when you get to the station. Push the green button to open a comm line. In one powerful leap, Till soared into the sky, landing flawlessly in the open hatch of his transport. He flew towards the salvage operation first, but quickly saw nothing abnormal going on. Ignoring the radio calls from the GA, he turned the transport towards the mountains and began to climb. Leveling out at the max height for the transport, another flash of bluish-white light drew his attention outside of town. Flying towards the large tree, the liaison could not believe his eyes. The land appeared to be scarred by a tremendous battle. What is going on? Till thought as he scanned below. Bringing the transport to a stop, he engaged the hover mode so he could get a better look. Till, come in. Over. Till, are you there? Kisa called. There aren't any alarms going off at the station. Can you hear me? Over. I read you loud and clear, Kisa. You need to click out of the specific alarms I have synced to my wrist device. Over. Copy. Updating. Oh, okay. It looks like there have been some major energy surges coming from just past the big tree on the hill. Over. Copy. I'm here now. I need you to look on the furthest screen to the right. Find the little icon that says arrow. Click it. It will tell us where he is. Over. Interrupting Till's instruction, Hanzo flew past screaming, the turbulence alone nearly flipping the transport. What the fuck? Till, what's going on? What happened? Over. It's that Zenith boy, Hanzo. Till answered. Why is he back here? This isn't good. Following the skydiving Zenith, Till assessed the situation. Closer to the ground, Till could see Ren standing at the edge of the crater Hanzo landed in. Staring at the center of the crater, through the dust of various impacts, Till could see a faint blue glow. Even from the transport, Till could tell there was a scramble of two bodies behind the curtains of dust. I should probably get down there, but it looks like the nymph boy is letting them have a fair fight. If Arrow really wants to become a hero of the Galactic Alliance, he's going to have to face mightier foes than that Zenith. Well, maybe not. What was that? Come in. Over. When the dust settled, Till could clearly see Arrow slumped on the ground. Come on, Arrow, get up. Truly wanting the best for Arrow, Till watched the scene unfold. Hanzo bent down to pick Arrow up by the hair. Tilting his head back, Arrow's face had a bloody smile stretched across it, a final act of disrespect which sent Hanzo into a raging fury. Letting his power flow without caution, Hanzo pummeled Arrow into the ground. Till could see the residual energy spewing from Hanzo's fists, eyes, and hair. With each punch Hanzo threw, more and more energy surged around them. His hands flew faster and faster until turning a fiery red and melting the surrounding stone. Faster than lightning, the Zenith's movements blurred with distortion. Hanzo's appearance shifted to one Till recognized from his time at war. A look of bloodlust, a look of detachment from inhibition and civility, a look of murder. Shit, I better get down there. Till, what's going on? Over, Kisa cried through the radio. With no time to respond, Till parked the transport and descended upon the scuffle. Landing far enough away that the deepest parts of the crater were no longer in sight, the sound of punches hitting a body rang through the ground and air. Reaching the edge of the crater, Hanzo was still punching, as if he had been attacked by thousands of bugs. Till could see the look of worry on Ren's face, who was so focused he didn't even notice the liaison's arrival. Till looked at Ren with a stern, accusing look. Realizing the liaison was standing next to him, Ren stumbled to the ground in fright. Without a single word exchanged, Ren understood the liaison was giving him one chance to do the right thing and stop the fight. Hanzo, that's enough! Ren shouted. Making his way down the concave walls of the crater, the nymph walked with caution, seemingly afraid to say or do the wrong thing and inflict the wrath of his out-of-control friend. Luckily, the tension of the moment broke as the Zenith appeared to power down. With each additional punch thrown, Hanzo's raging aura dwindled. Attempting several times to recharge himself, his punches followed in rhythm as they slipped between blurs and visible strikes. Soon, like a candle left by an open window, Hanzo's rage and aura extinguished as he broke. Dwindling in size, Hanzo's punches had the impact of feathers. Even his hair became a fallen mess. His body weight and even words seemed to be too much for him to handle. What's going on? Hanzo sedatedly asked. Hanzo, stop! It's the thing! He's doing the thing! Ren shouted, moving in to restrain his friend. A muffled laughter followed by the shifting of sand and stone regained Hanzo's attention. As he turned back to revel in his handiwork, he was greeted by the same bloody smile peeking through the smoldering, slightly orange, glowing rubble. Astonished by the human's resilience, there was a moment of silence in which Arrow's struggling laughter was all to be heard. Wow! Hanzo cried, unable to accept his powerlessness. Summoning the remainder of his energy, Hanzo prepared to risk not only his life, but the lives of everyone on the planet to ensure victory. Till knew Zenith pride dictated only one acceptable response to moments of failure or weakness. Too far away to intervene, Till watched in horror as Hanzo unleashed his final attack. The outward pressure of the aimed full-body energy purge was so immense it prevented Ren or Till from getting any closer. As things seemed to play out in slow motion, Till's only thought was that X-12 was about to have a hole melted straight through it. The concentrated beam emitting from his hands, chest, and mouth created enough force to lift Hanzo from the ground and bore Arrow further beneath it. Fully out of the crater, Till was the closest he had been to the Zenith since he left all those months ago. He could see his feral disposition, highlighted by his new physical enhancements. Frozen in terror, the might of Hanzo's power was bewildering. Just as it seemed that Hanzo would continue to climb through the air by the power of his own attack, like a failing rocket, his resolve wavered as he began to fall back into the crater. Like a sputtering engine, Hanzo's fading attack kicked and spat before failing to keep him airborne. Crashing to the ground, his confusion and lunacy had only doubled. See, Ren, it's fine. Nothing to worry about, Hanzo said, stumbling around as if half his brain had stopped working. Why, hello there, Mr. Liaison. Long time no see, he added with a drunken slur. Something is wrong. That attack should have caused way more damage, Till thought. Descending the angled walls of the crater, Till made his way over to the hole at the opposite side. Both of you, stay where you are. You're under arrest. Kisa, are you there? Over. Finally! Yes, I'm here. Over, Kisa replied, correcting her tone. Contact the captain aboard the tug. Tell them they're going to need to grab 2 more pieces of junk. They'll need 2 sets of lockboxes and shackles. When you're done with that, prepare an OR. What happened? I'm bringing Arrow in. Over. Till peered down the seemingly bottomless hole created by Hanzo's attack. Once I find him, that is, he said to himself. Looking through his AAD for any actionable intel, Till's mind scrambled to find a way of rescuing Arrow, one that didn't involve him climbing into the molten hole. When he could no longer think over the back and forth bickering of Hanzo and Ren, a low hum shook the ground. Turning from the hole, Till grew into his primal form. "What's that noise? Is it you?" Till shouted. Both Ren and Hanzo had a look of terrified confusion on their faces. "It's not us," Ren answered. The sound vibrated louder and louder until the crackle of static discharge tickled their ears. The ground around them shook in tune with the ominous noise. Slowly turning back, Arrow's dark tomb now shined with a dawning glow. A bluish silver light bled through the cracks in the ground, splintering up the walls of the crater. Intensifying, the bright blue and silver light emulsified as Arrow began to exhume himself from the ground. "Arrow, you with me, buddy?" Till called out. "Till, what's going on? What's happening to me?" Arrow asked, his voice shaky with static discharge. "Just stay calm, everything's gonna be okay," Till blindly said, trying to understand what was happening. Arrow appeared as if he had absorbed the energy from Hanzo's final attack. Now shining brighter than a star, Arrow was beyond his limit. The high vibrating sound emanating from him continued to heighten in pitch, forcing Till and the rogue cadets to cover their ears. "What's happening?" Arrow statically cried as he reached critical mass. "Everyone get down!" Till shouted. Arrow's body stiffly rose into the air against his will. When the high-pitched sound stopped, Arrow exploded, creating a destructive pulse of energy. The same second Arrow began to explode, Liaison Till threw a small device from his belt, engaging a defense shield to contain the situation. "He'll be okay, he'll be okay, he'll be okay," Till repeated to himself. The defense shield was enough to direct the blast away from the town, but not enough to prevent everyone close by from being sent tumbling through the air. The aftermath of the explosion left everyone unconscious except the liaison. When GA security forces from the tug arrived, they promptly retrieved their rogue cadets. Till's transport luckily remained in the sky, although its undercarriage had sustained heavy damage from the blast. Calling it down to the bottom of the crater, Till gently placed Arrow's bloody, unconscious body on the floor. Only stopping to load Ava and Rael, Till was off, rushing towards the refugee center. "Meet me at the door in 30 seconds, we're en route," Till relayed. Surprised to see Grant waiting outside, Till handed Ava to the headmaster before even parking the transport. Grabbing Rael, he gracefully leapt over the headmaster, rushing towards the nurse's office. "What do you got for me?" Nurse Kisa calmly said, not even looking up as she finalized her sterilization prep. "There was another, incident. Those two high-powered boys came for their revenge, or at least they thought they did," Till said, placing Rael's unconscious body on one of the tables. Headmaster Grant wasn't far behind, huffing and puffing as he rushed through the door with the unconscious Ava. "Make way!" he shouted, laying Ava down on the open table. "She was making the most worrying sound, like something inside her is bubbling." Grant stepped back in shock as Kisa rushed to Ava's side. Till stood ready to assist in any way he could. "Quickly, help me roll her over," Kisa ordered. Cutting Ava's shirt from the back with medical scissors, she used a cordless stethoscope to listen in several spots before turning to retrieve another device. Returning, Kisa scanned Ava's back with an odd oval-shaped object that Till had never seen before. "She has several broken ribs, one of which is pressing down on her lung. It's not punctured, but I'm going to need you to keep holding her so I can readjust it," Nurse Kisa ordered the liaison. He blushed at the sight of her taking charge. With a snap and crack, the slight bubbling sound of Ava's labored breathing stopped, and even though still unconscious, she sighed with relief. Kisa shifted and coiled around the room to a cabinet in the back of her office, retrieving another, more familiar medical device. "Now for Rael. Till, can you straighten out his arm as best you can, and then wrap this around it? Make sure it's tight, and then press the green button." While Liaison Till fumbled with straightening Rael's mangled arm and wrapping it in the thick medical pad, Nurse Kisa gracefully wrapped a large version around Ava's torso. Feeling useless, Grant, for one reason or another, decided to recall his experience of it all. "I was in my office when I felt a thunderous shaking. I thought it was just the GA removing what was left of the Liberty, but then I was blinded, and the power went out all over town. I say, Liaison, what's happening out there?" Grant asked, looking on in horror at the unconscious children. Till could tell Grant believed the planet was under attack. He decided to let them stew in the fear for a moment until Kisa spoke. Yes, what was all that ruckus, and why would those two bullies come back here? She asked, now tending to Ava's swollen face. Bullies? What two bullies? Grant interjected. It would seem, Till said, your prize cadets joined in the salvage efforts of the Liberty to come back here and get their revenge on poor Arrow. They must have bumped into Rael and Ava first. Till scrolled through his AAD for any chatter. Hanzo and Ren, where are they now? Kisa asked. I let the GA take them. They're already in the brig aboard the tug. I've been assured they will receive a fair punishment. The mark of misuse of evolutionary powers within the first year is a dark offense, let alone against a civilian. The GA will more than likely throw the book at them. They want to fight, the GA will grant their wishes. It's only been a month since the Liberty crashed on our forsaken planet. Mark my words, by the way things are going, it's only a matter of time before the shadow's at our door, Nurse Kisa said, not looking up from her work. Now we have to add megadeths showing up and causing trouble to our list of worries? That's preposterous. Grant could not believe what he was hearing. So you're saying Hanzo and Ren came all the way back here and attacked the boy? Well, I say, that's poppycock. I don't believe it. I'm sure the human boy instigated this whole thing once he found out they were back. He protested in denial. I stopped the fight myself, Till responded, hesitating as he tried to think of a way to explain it all. If all this truly happened, then where is Arrow? Where is the seemingly impervious human of Earth? Grant demanded. Till couldn't respond before being interrupted. Is Arrow on the transport? How bad is he? Take me to him, Kisa pleaded. Till said nothing and just opened the door to the office, gesturing for them to follow him. Kisa and Grant followed Till outside to his beat-up, slightly smoking transport. His silence made them think he was about to show them Arrow's dead body, but when he opened the door to the transport, they were greeted by Arrow, uninjured and fast asleep on the floor. I cleaned him up a bit on the way over here to see how badly he was injured, Till said. He doesn't have a single mark. Have you ever heard of anyone having such a healing factor? I mean, Kisa, everything Hanzo did to him, plus, on top of that, he exploded. I've never seen anything like it. He exploded, huh? And was able to go hoof to hoof with those boys again? Even after they'd been evolved? Grant surmised, rubbing his chin. I see that look in your eye, Till said. I doubt the GA will pay you anything for him once he tells his side of the story. Besides, I wouldn't say he held his own, but he certainly survived what most could not. So what? Arrow has some cool powers. It's about time something went his way. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, Kisa said, scanning him with the odd oval-shaped device. I don't know. Something about this feels strange, Till said, retreating into thought. Now that Arrow's attackers were in the middle of becoming full-fledged cadets of the Galactic Alliance, it was inevitable that word would make its way out of the small town of Resupply. Liaison Till recounted the previous situation with the same characters as he helped Kisa carry Arrow to a cot inside the conference room. Till thought of the day he was properly introduced to the lonely human of Earth, how the scared little boy held himself upon the same windowsill he was now being laid next to. Looking down at Arrow, he knew the standard procedure called him to draft a detailed report. What Till couldn't decide is how much to divulge. He knew that there would be a formal report on the side of Hanzo and Ren, and that they would only include rogue actions against civilians. He also knew that there was no way Hanzo or Ren would report their undefeated nemesis. No going back now, young man, Till whispered. Your secret's out there. Whatever it is. Till bent down, placing the self-made GA patch Arrow sewed on all his clothing next to him on the pillow.